The third big takeaway from that little example we built was how we pass data from the controller class into the view so that it could be rendered. So we were able to, I guess you could say, inject the data two different ways, two different techniques. The first one involved this object called the view bag, and then the second was by sending it in a strongly typed model for the view via the view helper method on the controller. So the first technique, using that view bag, involved working with this special object. Now, it's a funny name that conjures up the idea of a shopping bag, and you just put stuff in the shopping bag and take stuff out of the shopping bag. And as we saw, it was pretty convenient, right? We just come up with the name of a property off the top of our head. We create it in our controller. Let me open that up. And I just came up with the idea, hey, let's make a property, I don't know, Bob created this value, right? And then we were able to access it inside of the view itself, like right here, okay? And it was really convenient. It was really cool, but we saw that there was a huge downside, and that was with dynamic properties, since they're not strongly typed, you could misspell a property name and subtly introduce a bug into your application. And so we said that's really not the best approach for passing model data from the controller into the view. The best way to do it is to do it through a strongly typed view by adding the model directive at the very top of the view class to say this view is bound. It is looking for a model of type list of car. And then we can pass in an instance of list of car into the view by using the view helper method. So back in the view, we were able to access that list of car using the model, capital M model, and notice that the lowercase m model is used here as a directive, saying this is what the type of this view will be. The uppercase M in model is the accessor. This is how you actually get to the instance of the model that was passed in. And it's important that you remember this, because if you misspell this or you use the wrong M's, well, first of all, it's not going to let you compile. But you're obviously not going to get the results that you really want. Okay. Then once we were able to get the model into the view, we were able to work with it in a strongly typed fashion. So here in this particular case, you can see as I hover over the word model, it knows that this is list of car. Very cool. So when I was able to do var car in model, I was essentially doing var car in cars, where cars is a list of car. Okay, and then I was able to work with each individual instance of car in the for each, grabbing off properties, whatever the case might be. All right. So it's a small thing, but it's an important mechanism of how you move data from the controller's action result methods into the view. You push it through there in one direction using strongly typed views. Now we're going to talk about later on how to push data from the view. So say you have a web form, how do you push that data into the controller that accepts form input via an HTTP post? That's an interesting study as well, and it will use similar mechanisms, just kind of in an opposite fashion. At any rate, it's important that we understand that that handoff. Remember, the most crucial part of MVC is the model. The only purpose of the controller and the view is to expose the model to the end user, and this is the mechanism through which that happens. Okay, move on, and we'll continue to investigate this little example in the next lesson. Thank you.